Hey everybody, Ghostmo here, and welcome back to my channel, Everyday Backpacker. Today I just thought I would do a low-key update as to where everything's going with my life, channel, and the big trip coming up while I make coffee using my AeroPress. So, I realize that I've been a little bit quiet lately, and the reason for that is, well, I've been sick. I just got over having what I believe was RSV, which, by the way, royally sucks. 0 out of 10, do not recommend. It kicked my butt. And because of that, I haven't been able to get out and do running or strength training or anything like that, because you're not supposed to work out when you have a viral infection. And I tried to be a good patient and avoided those activities. But as you can see, I'm still getting there. I did get out for a run this morning, and it sucked, but it felt great. And so hopefully I'll be able to get back into that routine here soon. The other really great news that I have right now is that I am on my last week of working 6 days a week, which means I will have more time for my hobbies, which is making these videos. So that's good news as well. Because frankly, I've missed doing the videos, I've missed the interactions we've had, and you guys as well. So I'm looking forward to being able to get back into a little bit more consistent routine as far as video making goes. So that's good news as well. And that's generally where life is at for me at the moment. Like I said, I'm transitioning into a new job, getting over being sick, and trying to continue to be able to focus on this upcoming trip. And so that brings me to, in fact, what probably most people are wondering about, which is where Hot Pants and I are with the overall trip planning and execution. Well, basically, right now, at this point, we are kind of wrapping up some of our major logistical issues that we have, which, right now include creating our food resupplies and making sure we have people to bring stuff when we need to and get there. We have a third person joining us or part of the trip who is going to meet us in Cook City, and so he's probably going to bring our resupply to us, which means we'll have a little bit more opportunities to add some things that we wouldn't have been able to do if we just did the regular resupply, which is pretty helpful. And yeah, we're just kind of never used this stainless steel thing before, so I'm not sure exactly the easiest way to put it on here. There we go. So we're basically just kind of going through all of those motions. And I think we're actually in a pretty good spot. Generally thinking we've got everything pretty much squared away. We still have to work on some stuff for the pack raft in anticipation of that bridge not being finished, which is probably not going to happen now due to the cutbacks that have been made with the staffing in our public lands. And I'm not going to go down a political aspect of this, but our public lands need all the support we can give them right now. So enough on that. So another thing that we have been doing for the prep for this has been we finally got our application for the adventure grant that we were invited to apply for this trip, and filled that form out. Hot Pants looked it over, gave the approval, and so we did submit that paperwork, and hopefully here within before the end of the month we should know if we did or did not receive that grant. So that's pretty exciting. It's not a make or break. We're still going to be doing the trip if we don't get it, but it would be kind of nice to get a little bit of help in the process. Otherwise, for me personally, I've been kind of focusing a little bit more on gear Two things that I've been doing has been getting new gear that I've wanted to try for this trip and replacing some gear that's been maybe been marginally not working well for me, or things that I think I can improve. And then also going through all of my gear to see what kind of condition it's in and see what needs to be potentially replaced. For instance, the other night I was trying out to see how my waterproof bag that I store my clothing in, or my top quilt and pad in, was doing. So I took some paper towels, stuffed them on the inside, rolled it up, ran it under some water. Sure enough, the paper towels got a little bit wet. There was some concern on a trip recently that it may have become compromised, and turns out it was. So I did order a replacement with that from Ben over at Hilltop Packs. He helped me out with that, so thanks, Ben. Yeah, just kind of trying to make sure everything is in good working order. Did order some new stuff to try out, which I'm excited for. For instance, a new trail meal. Connor and I are going to try these out and see how they taste. I have been assured by multiple people that they are absolutely amazing, and so far the company has been awesome to work with. So I definitely recommend trying out Trail Goods Company. They've been awesome, and I am excited to try these out. But again, still kind of waiting for the good opportunity to do that because I want to give it a good review. But again, I've been assured these are amazing. Another thing that I'm going to try out this go around is this one is from Hilltop Packs, but there's several companies that are making these merino wool trail towels. And these are pretty cool because they have a little loop here. You can attach it to your shoulder strap and use it to wipe off your face as you're going throughout the day, wipe off your hands, that kind of thing. In the past, I have used a bandana and just tied it onto the front, which has worked okay, but the merino wool is a little softer and more absorbent. Yeah, so kind of excited to try that out. Seems like a real simple piece of equipment, but I think it's going to come in a lot of handy. Definitely in that July, summer. Let's see what else. I did get a new tripod for the GoPro. I'm filming on the GoPro, so I can't show you on the camera on it. But the old one that I was using was a more kind of traditional style. And my coffee is done brewing, so I'm going to invert this and press it down. Whoa. That stainless steel filter is easier to push through than the paper ones. Alright, set that aside there. So anyways, this is the old one that I was using, and it worked pretty well. I did like to have the Velcro on there, and it worked really well as a pistol grip. But unfortunately, it's not set up to be used with a GoPro, so you have an adapter that you have to screw onto it. And the problem that I was having is that, especially when I was getting the camera in and out of the bag to film, oftentimes this piece would come loose and the camera would swing around, and I'd have to take time to fix that, and it screwed up a few shots, and generally speaking was becoming more and more of an issue. And no matter how many times I tried to tighten it down, it just wouldn't work. So I went with this, which is the GoPro Shorty. This one does not spin, so it does not have to. You don't have to worry about it becoming loose. It is a tripod and also a handle, and then it also does have an extender. That obviously is designed to be used for filming yourself as a short selfie stick. God, I know I said I would never get a selfie stick, but I do think though that it will help with some different angles as far as when it's being used as a tripod. So, and it's generally about the same weight. So you can try that out. I also got some more batteries. I still need to get a few more GoPro Enduro batteries. These things are awesome. They don't weigh a whole lot, and it's easier to carry a bunch of these for the camera instead of try to recharge it. Let's see, I got some new micro spikes from Catula. Mine are starting to get a little bit old, and they've made a little bit of updates to them, so I wanted to make sure because we are getting a ton of late season snow, including today, and I think these are going to come in handy on some of those 10 passes that we'll be doing during the trip. Along with that, I did get some Catula low ankle gaiters. I think these are going to come in handy in some of the more overgrown places we're going to be going into, just keeping stuff out of our shoes as well as some of the dampness and stuff that'll come off of it. And so again, I went with the Katulas. There's a reason for that, but I'll discuss that later. But excited to try those out. And yeah, I think that's it for all the new gear I have. Let's see, coffee's done. And pretty good. All right. The only other thing I wanted to mention this time is, obviously still doing a lot of reading, getting ready for the season, kind of continuing with my last video about how art affects me. And I started reading a new book, and it is an amazing book so far, and so I definitely wanted to do just a recommendation. The book's called Way Out There, and it is by J. Robert Harris. This guy's had an amazing life. He's a kid from New York who just kind of chanced into a life of adventure, and he has backpacked all over the world, and he's an amazing storyteller, and so far it's just been an awesome book. So yeah, so that's kind of where things are at right now. Like I said, hopefully here soon I'll be able to do a little bit more stuff. I know it's been kind of radio silent here for a little while, just because a lot of things going in life, just didn't have a time to devote to it. Definitely going to change that, and we're going to continue to ramp up the process of getting ready for this trip, and then we're going to be doing some trips in beforehand to kind of get ready. We're already talking about possibly trying to get out next month, just to do some overnights, especially now that I'll have most of the weekends available again. And yeah, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or anything like that, leave them in the comments below. And as always, keep hiking on.